Gavin DeGraw on 91.8 Hayes FM. Well, the recent unprovoked attacks in our area this month, known as the Hounslow attacks, has shocked our neighbourhood. One teenager on the 7th of August was cut with a bladed item across the neck in Hanworth Road. 10 days later, a 26-year-old woman was cut across the face. The attacks were formally linked by the police, and a 20-year-old suspect has now been arrested with the help of CCTV evidence only 6 days ago. It's put a lot of our community, I think, a bit on edge, and there's more random knife crime in our area. We have to notice that it seems to be in the news more and more, and it's particularly shocking as it was two girls and it was completely unprovoked. So this morning, Dave Gentry and Kirk, they're joining me in the studio to discuss the rise in knife crime in our area. Dave runs kickboxing classes. He's an expert in the field and a bit of a star as he was inducted into the London International Martial Arts Hall of Fame in June 2006. He's trained stars such as Lee from Steps, Tragedy, and is the founder of Streetwise Fitwise. Kirk is also in the studio. He's a qualified self-defense instructor. His martial arts talents have also won him roles on the big screen. Yes, he's starring in the new film St George's Day, and he's become a prison transition mentor as well. He's now working with Dave on the Streetwise Fitwise campaign as part of the Prince's Trust. Good morning, boys.
Morning.
Morning.
Let's talk about the Hounslow attacks first, starting with Dave. They were both random, but both on female victims. Would you say girls are more at risk than men?
Personally, I don't think so. I think in the streets at the moment, everybody is at risk.
Right.
Not just females. I think actually, if you look at the statistic, there's more guys out there getting attacked more than females. So I don't think it's personally just a women thing. I think it's a whole environment at the moment with the street crime, knife crime, that, you know, everybody's a target. You know, so you have to be aware of what's going on around you constantly.
But do you think some people are more a target than others? Do some people shout out victim more than others?
Yeah, I mean, it depends on how you handle yourself. You know, if you're out walking in the street and you've got your, you know, you're coming home late at night, 1 o'clock in the morning, you're a female and you're on your iPhone or your BlackBerry, you know, you're going to make yourself a target. Not only going to make yourself a target, you're on your phone and you're not concentrating on what's going on around you. So there's simple little things like that, you know. Make sure you go home with somebody, go home with a friend, and stay in a big crowd. And, you know, if you get off the bus and you've got a 10-minute walk, make sure that somebody's there to meet you. Don't be scared to you know, ask your parents to come and meet you. Say, look, I'm scared, you know, of walking on my own. It might be just a 5-10 minute walk, but that 5-10 minute walk could be that point there where you get attacked. So,
Jay, we're told these girls were attacked by bladed items. So has there been an increase in knife crime? Have you noticed, particularly in our area?
Yeah, I mean, you know, there's many surveys that's, you know, that's covered, you know, in the boroughs, and I've got obviously some figures here, obviously doing some more research, and obviously these polls are from November 2010, 2011. The stopper searches in Harrow, for instance, rose from 125 to 209,
right.
But the number of knife crime rose from 10 to 23.
Right.
So, you know, and then obviously it doubled in Lewisham, so then obviously we're going to Southside. You know, it rose from 715 to 1,400 stop and searches, but it went from 50 to 56 knife crime injuries. So, you know, but one thing we are clear of, obviously, you know, from February to April this year, the number of recorded knife crime injuries in the whole of London went up from 941 to 1,070. So it just shows you it's not just our area; it's everywhere, you know. And even the victims, knife crime injured victims, the age group between 13 and 24. Rose by 30%, so this just shows you there's a trend between the age group that are using knives from the age of 13, whether it's in self-defence or gang-related, to the age of 24. So it's all over. It's not just our area. It's they're facts and figures to show.
Yeah, and do you know what the main cause of the knife crime is? It theft? Is it for mobile phones? Is it gang-related?
Yeah, I mean, you know, definitely, you know, it all plays a part. You know, there's definitely gang-related,
right.
you know, but there is individuals, obviously, with the Hounslow attacks. Obviously, that's a slightly different entity. But in general, it is in self-defence, but it is gang-related or numbers more than one.
So what can we do to protect ourselves then, Dave, if we're not trained in self-defence? Or, say, like a girl like me, I mean, do I really stand a chance of fighting someone off?
It's very difficult to say on that one, but I think at the end of the day, like I said before, is that you always need to be aware of your surroundings, where you are and what you're doing. If you put yourself in a situation that you are alone, then you will be a target. If you're, like I say, if you got off the bus at night yourself and you got a 10-minute walk and you're on your own, you then become a target to somebody.
Right.
So I think at all times you must be aware of your surroundings. Try and stay in a big group. Always have friends around you, and if you can't have friends around you, make sure that someone's going to be there to meet you, to take you home. Just let them know that you're scared.
Are you saying that it's more of not putting yourself in a situation where it's likely to happen than if you are, it's much harder to deal with?
Exactly. If you make yourself a target, you'll become a target.
Right.
It's very simple. So look where you are. Don't go around with your handbag out and looking at your mobile phone. Things like that. You're going to be distracted anyway. So again, you're even then more of a target. So there's a simple things that you can do to stop yourself being a target. Very, very simple.
Well, we have a couple of people have talked about their experiences on our streets. You want to have a listen and hear what they had to say?
Yeah, certainly.
After the news of the Hounslow attacks in your area, living here, do you feel nervous going out at night?
Well, certainly, yeah. It's been quite a devastating thing to have happened to both them and their families. And every time I see news like this, it always frightens me, especially at night if I'm alone.
I feel really worried because I have 3 daughters coming of age when they'll want to start going out and about more, and I really do worry for their safety. Having had sons who I live in the area of Uxbridge, and I have 5 sons, and 3 of them have been attacked in Uxbridge. One very recently, very viciously. He had his nose broken. He was attacked by 4 people, and I feel that there is not enough done by the policing.
Do you feel this is a safe area to live?
I've lived here for 25 years and I've seen such a decline in the area. During the day as well, you're reading attacks on people with knives and razors.
Generally, the place I'm living at, it's alright, it's quite safe, but I often hear a lot of teenage people shouting and swearing at each other just outside my window, really.
So it seems that they're not feeling too safe at the moment. Do you think that this is a common problem, or do you think that maybe news it's become more sensationalised, so we live in fear when there maybe isn't so much of a fear?
Yeah, I think sometimes the media can take it out of proportion.
Right.
And they can emphasise the problem more. And I think by doing that, some of these criminals think it's the done thing to do. So, personally, I just feel as though people should be more aware of their surroundings. Like I said before, you need to be in a big group. Never be on your own. Never expose yourself to these situations. If you don't expose yourself to the situation, then you won't get in the situation in the first place. Sometimes it's obviously very difficult. I see sometimes that you are going to be on your own. But like I said before, make sure there's always someone there to meet you or take you home. Don't put yourself in that particular situation.
Jay, how's the Streetwise Fitwise programme going to help?
Well, first of all, obviously we have skilled instructors. We've got instructors from all backgrounds, obviously myself and Dave, and we do have other instructors that we can call upon with different techniques and different skill set to teach the children. But not only do we teach self-defence, that's just really a small part of what we can always teach self. That's just really a small part. The main part is really education. We need to educate the children about knife crime, about being involved in gangs, the consequences. I use the word risk for reward. Is the risk going to be justified for the reward at the end of the day? When you go, you can end up going to prison for an offence that you was maybe egged on by your gang members. But we also we do have the emphasis of guiding our students to lead a positive and respectful life. So, if we respect ourselves, then we'll respect others. So it's about education. If first of all, we can teach anybody self-defence, anybody can learn self-defence, but we need to start with educating the young children, so hopefully when they leave school that they have a mindset of gangs are not a good thing, it's not the right path to go down.
What's the attraction and allure of a gang, do you think, Jay?
It's, you've got peer pressure. You have, children that are maybe less confident in themselves. So if they feel that if they've got a group of people around them, then they become part of the gang. But, on the downside of that, because they're the less confident person, they could be the person that actually gets in the most trouble, because, some of the gang members are calculated in how they use their members, and that's a fact.
So they're using people that are less confident, the ones that are less aggressive almost, to do the dirty work? Is that one way of putting it?
It could be an issue that it's not always that way, but that it's an easy target. That if you can get somebody else to do your dirty work, why do it yourself? Again, it's minimising the risk for them, but giving somebody else that risk. So that's what we try and teach them, not to put themselves in that risk.
Dave, do you think that self-defence should be part of school curriculum?
Oh, certainly, definitely. I mean, I've been actually doing this now, working in schools for about the last 7 years. I've been campaigning through the government. I've had letters from the mayor praising the work that we do, but never really getting the point of the fact that there's martial arts like myself and Jay actually going in schools already and actually teaching in schools. So I think it's a good thing that a lot of schools have actually taken it upon themselves to get people like me and Jay, martial arts instructors, into schools and teaching them. Obviously, when you go into schools, I think it's the best time to actually get to people is when they're young, between the ages of 12 and 16, before they actually leave school. If you can get to them at that age, then when they leave school, they're not going to have that mindset that they want to be in a gang and want to start to do all this violence thing.
Showing them that they have options to pursue other things.
Yeah, exactly. Showing that we can show them that with positive attitude and self-respect, and like Jay said, respect for others, then they can actually achieve something. And a lot of these young guys, they don't have goals, they don't have aspirations. So we try and give it to them, so that you can do this and you can do that. You can make something of yourself. And if you work at it, you will get where you want to be.
Why are the parents not getting through to them about their goals and ambitions? I mean, in my family, it's always been, we've always said that, what do you want to do when you're older? And it was always go, go, go. Is that because it's not set by their family, or they won't listen to them? Maybe that teenage, adolescent years? Yeah,
do you know, personally, what I think it's all about these days, unfortunately, the laws and the government have changed so many laws now, what you can and cannot do with children. You can't discipline that. Children know their rights. I mean, I spoke to someone the other day, and she was telling me that her child, who's 11 years old, has got a card by her bed of Childline. So if her mum tells her off, she's going to get onto Childline.
Right.
No,
okay.
You see where I'm coming from? So there's things like that that
are in changed now in.
And I think that's half the problem.
Education's gone too far. We've tried to give children a voice, and it's almost gone.
Yeah, I mean, the good thing now is that I believe this year the government have changed a thing in schools that now if the children kick off in school and they start getting violent, now the teachers can actually restrain them. So that's a new thing that's come in this year, which I think is a very, very good thing.
Right.
So the changes start to go back a little bit, but I think there's a lot of change needed.
Teachers are trying to get a little bit more of their control back of their students,
definitely.
which has been taken away. Maybe political correctness has gone.
Yeah, and the same thing for parents as well, because parents are sometimes like, oh, if you touch me, oh, you discipline me, I'm going to call the police, I'm going to do this. So I think it's all wrong. I do really think it's wrong. But I think now if we can get to children at a young age between 12 and 16 through the work we do at Streetwise Fitwise, saying to kids that, you can make something of yourself. This street crime, this knife crime is not a good thing. Stay away from it. Do something with your life.
Yeah, we're running so short of time, but there's just so much to talk to. I'm just going to fit in a couple of questions as quickly as I can, if that's okay. Apparently youngsters are supposed to be feeling inspired by the Summer Olympics to get active and learn more sports. Jay, have you noticed that with the interest in your courses, because obviously you do martial arts as well? Has there been a change? Are people more inspired now?
Yeah, you see that all the time. I think, Dave obviously has seen that as well.
I mean, recently I'm having a little bit more interest, obviously at summertime.
Yeah.
So everyone's obviously still on their holidays, but I'm getting loads of emails already about, new people want to come in and try the classes. Definitely seen a lot of new cyclists about. That's why everywhere you go, you now got cyclists. But even with that, at least the kids have got something to, look forward to.
Where can we find out more about the Streetwise Fitwise campaign, all your brilliant work that you're both up to?
Well, obviously on our website, which is www.streetwisefitwise.co.uk. On there's also a links page. It obviously tells us about what we can do, what we can offer schools. We go around seminars, and we can do a 2-hour course, a 1-hour course, whatever, tailor that to individual schools. But also there's links on there as well to other websites, like martial arts websites, locally in the area, area where we can obviously teach the self-defence as well.
Thank you so much for coming in the studio today. Thank you for your great work. It's great that you're using your talents to help others and inspire others. That's all we have time for, I'm afraid. But of course, if you have any questions for my guests, send them my way and we'll pass them on. And you can find out more on their website. Still to come, we've got your local news at 1:30.
If you're thinking